Hi everyone! So, we have a book review right today, as I just finished Library of Souls by Ransom from the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children trilogy. And, wow, this series just kept progressing to get so much better and better and better. And it culminated so well. And I literally just finished the last chapter. And it wrapped up so nicely. It was great. I loved it. I love Jake's progression with his control of the hollows. The hollow part was so that was fantastic. That whole part about him being able to control them. The fact that there might still have been a part of their soul there, and him feeling sorry for the hollow he had come to understand and such. And oh my gosh. Finding out that that Miss Peregrine had, two brothers? Two flipping brothers? Just, oh my gosh. Finding out that literally I had the last chapter and Saturday, Sunday, I wasn't going to be able to read it or do this video, so I left it for the last 2 days. And I feel like I shouldn't have for some reason because, I don't know, I've forgotten a lot of stuff. I don't know how, 2 flippin' days, where literally every day I was reading a bunch of stuff of this book. Well, I could go by maybe the picture. I don't know why this was, the chapters are so long. I don't get that part. And just finding out some of the stuff that was, they thought was, not real. For example, the second soul of a peculiar is used as, a drug. And they did put their second souls in the hollows so that they were able to go into the loops, and then they made them into a drug called ambrosia. It got creepy. And this person here, this is Mother Dust, and her I think she doesn't really have a mouth or a tongue because she's covered up. But this was one of the scariest, her peculiar, her power, we're gonna say, her power is the fact that her entire body she breaks off a piece and then rubs it and it turns into a dust, and literally it will put you to sleep / it will heal your wounds. And for that power is great, but to literally have to take apart your body, because in the story she doesn't have an arm from her hand to her elbow, and then obviously she was taking stuff from her face, it looks like. That's just oh my gosh. And to meet Alma's other brother, and the fact that she had a second brother, and he was kind of a wishy-washy back and forth type of character. I would have loved, I love him and hate him at the same time. I kind of love him a little, my love for him is a little more than my hate, but he literally saved the day. In the end, he basically redeemed himself from being a bad person. And Cole is insane, literally, he was flipping insane. And the Devil's Acre, the people there, it was basically a slave market, literally. And when you at first it's not that you don't see it, but once they go to this woman's den, and she has windowed things, and she basically calls out to a person to do their power, and it's a sad place when you first go to it. Eventually it gets better, but I loved this book. I love the progression of it, and it just kept getting everything just kept amping up. It got so everything was just on a high, literally. And meeting Sharon was an interesting character, and we never really fully see his face, but the thing about ambrosia, apparently you drop it in your eyes, and you're basically destroying your eyes pretty much. And when it goes in there and you open them, white beams of cyclop beams come out and destroy stuff for a few seconds before it disappears. But apparently over time of taking it, 1, you become addicted to it, and that's obvious, but 2, apparently their faces literally melt, so that is weird. But as I said, you never see Sharon's face, and I'm guessing his face melted a bit because he actually got addicted to ambrosia. And just you don't see his face, but finding out that if you are a long-term taker of ambrosia, your face is like, it starts melting. I'm pretty sure his face has like melted some, or like either he has no face at all, and like the skin part. That's weird. And like, as I said, and then like you meet Bentham, which it's like Ben and Tham, Bentham, and you meet him and you think he's like he'll be a great character, and then you find out he's a bit wishy-washy, as I mentioned. And he has a grim bear, and it's pretty cool. And then once you finally get to the white like tower, wow. The actual tower itself is not as bad. Apparently when you're on the ground in like the court, there was like 3 buildings, and 2 of them were like, they like had all like that's where like the met laboratories were, and where they stashed the children, and like where they took the souls out. It was freaky. It's very freaky, especially with the pictures and the way he describes some of the things. That was freaky. You don't see much of Call in the book, but when you do, he gets even more freaky, and like he's gone even more insane, pretty much. From when you first meet him at the end of book 2, he's not as bad. He's a maniacal bastard, but in here he's just like driven madly insane. And we get to find the Library of Souls, and like that was cool. It seems like Jake is a librarian, according to the stuff in here. That the Library of Souls is an actual place, and they had librarians, and they protected these souls. And according to the story of the Library of Souls, like place, the peculiars who were about to die would go there, and I guess basically die, and their second soul would get bottled and put in storage, pretty much. But then when a new peculiar would be born, I'm guessing they would release it somehow, and then like it would go to the next body, sort of thing. I'm guessing that's how it would work. Apparently Jake and his, you realize he's actually a librarian, and that's like, I'm just realizing that right now, like literally during this video. I didn't even put the connection together, because they're told about the Library of Souls and librarians, and literally like Jake is able to see these things which no one else can see, and people can touch them, like these jars that are holding souls, only when Jake is touching them. If Jake lets go of it, it completely disappears from like the other people. So he's a flippin' librarian. And apparently after the first, like when Library of Souls kept getting broken into, and people were trying to be like, take it over and, do all that stuff. I'm pretty sure there was like more librarians and like them being born more, but after that, I'm guessing they just disappeared, and like they became a rare breed of peculiar. You wonder where like the line of Jacob's family, like on his like father's side, grandfather, and all that such. I don't think it was like all males, but right now it's like Jacob, his grandfather. I'm pretty sure if Jake's father was like properly bred and such, he might have been able to acquire this thing that Jake and his grandfather had, but he never really had the opportunity. In truth, it may have even skipped him, because sometimes like certain genes of your family, it skips it. But yeah, it's weird. And then like all resolves. The ending, the last chapter is like Jake being in the real world, and just he said he wanted to be at a proper age to like really be with Emma. And so he wanted to go back to his family and such. But it's not really the greatest idea. And you would read that at the end, like literally all of the last chapter. And that last chapter was kind of cool, like reading that, what happens. And what happens like with his mainly his parents, but obviously his parents talk to the family. It's just the interesting thing. Like the whole talking to his parents and sort of like being home and such, being honest. It's all in just within one chapter. It was sort of like summarized in certain parts, but it was just sometimes the last chapter is not always like the greatest chapter, but that was a pretty good chapter, even with like a summarizing of certain stuff. But to get to my point, it was a very good book. It was so good, and I'm just sad that it somehow my brain, it was just like taken away. That's annoying. But yeah, this was a really great book, and I recommend reading it, and I totally recommend reading the series. It definitely helps when you know like the whole thing, and it makes it more exciting if you've read the previous ones, because everything just keeps building up to what this is. And like when you find out about certain things, like a small thing in like the previous chapters and books, when it comes to like the next one, it expands on it and gets like more insane and such, sort of. So yeah, this is a really great book, and I recommend it. And the series, I haven't watched the movie yet, because apparently I need to watch it with Manny. Manny wants to see it too. We will watch it, and I will watch the movie. And I also literally I got a Hollow City, the graphic novel, and I literally just finished over that weekend. The lady took out certain things from the book and changed certain things away from the graphic novel. This was a great book. I loved reading it. As I said, I really never put it down since I got it, and like literally I was reading every day, mainly because I was watching Pokemon and I was reading it during the opening and ending credit, and so like I got a lot done. This is a great book, and I wish I had a better like thing, but you know, I left it for 2 days, which I couldn't help. So yeah, great book, read it, and it'll be great. I am finally finished this series, and I've marked it off my lovely list of stuff I need to read. So I actually put White Fern by V.C. Andrews on hold, because that's like a single off book and it's easy. I was going to do A Virgin River Christmas by Robin Carr from the Virgin River series, but that's a lot, and I just gonna save that. Gonna take off these like single books, because it'd be a lot easier to do that. But anyway, I recommend reading this book very much, and especially the entire series. I don't know about watching the movie before reading the series or after, but yeah. I don't know, because I haven't watched it yet, so I can't give that review. But the graphic novel, the first one, I'd say was like perfect. It was like, I think it was like pretty much like on par, like with everything from the first book was in the first graphic novel. But the second one, Hollow City, literally there is no mention of the gypsies or anything of the gypsies, of the peculiar gypsy boy turning into a peculiar. And I love that little part in the series. Like literally it has like the whites coming upon them, and them, the peculiars being in a cage by the gypsies, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Now I'm on to my own books, and literally, if you remember, I am starting one that I got for Christmas. It is Weird Things Customers Say in Bookstores by Jen Campbell, or it's Jennifer. And like Neil Gaiman says, so funny, so sad, read it and sigh, and it's really skinny, so I'll be finished it soon. Like literally, this in the beginning says, on the cover it says, do you have any books by Jane Eyre? I think Jane Eyre is like an actual character, not an author. I believe so. Like I used to watch this person on here, and she was a big something about Jane Eyre or Jane Austen. This person, like the actual, like the person working there, you see, they're confused as to what this person says. And then there's things back here. I'll read this stuff and some of the things like just before I read like the first part. Updated with 16 pages, all new weird things. Ooh, new weird things. Customer. My children are just climbing your bookshelves. That's okay, isn't it? They won't topple over, will they? And then there's this right here. I'm pretty sure that's part of it. A simple Twitter question posed by John Cleese. Oh my god. What is your biggest pet peeve? Inspired Jan Campbell to start a blog collecting all the ridiculous conversations overheard in her bookstore. Oh, she owns the bookstore. Okay. Filled with fun and quirky illustrations by the award-winning brothers McLeod? McLeod? I don't know how to pronounce it. McLeod? I don't know. I'm gonna stop pronouncing that. And featuring contributions. And featuring contributions contributions from booksellers across the United States, Canada, woohoo, Canada, as well as the author's native UK. Weird Things Customers Say in Bookstores is a celebration of bookstores, large and small, and of the brilliant booksellers who toil in those literary fields, as well as the myriad of colorful characters that walk through the doors every day. That is cool. And then we got 2 more. Customer. Do you have Fiddler on a hot tin roof? A hot tin roof. Yeah. There. Customer. Doesn't it bother you being surrounded by books all day? I think I'd be paranoid that they were all going to jump off those shelves and kill me. Here's the picture. That's a little weird. It's a little weird. Not just the picture, but a little weird for a customer to say that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, this is going to be an interesting book to read. And there is a second book out. And then there's a book called The Bookshop. I don't know what that one is, but there's a second one of this, which is called More Weird Things Customers Say in Bookstores. And this person here is actually a dinosaur on the book cover. I don't know about the actual librarian or bookseller, but this is going to be an interesting book. And this is the end of the video. This was a very long video and a very weird review, but as I said, I recommend Library of Souls. I totally recommend reading the series. I see why Jesse is so obsessed with it. It's a really good series. I'm not as obsessed with it as he is. A second. I definitely do recommend it. It was very good, and the series was very good. I like reading the graphic novel. It is a good way to see it visually, but Hollow City, they basically took out 2 things. So I recommend the book, and if you liked my weird review, hit that like button down there. And you can leave comments down below how you liked the book and the series, and you can leave your comments down below if you liked the movie, and if you recommend seeing the movie before or after reading the book trilogy, or at least reading the first book, because I'm pretty sure the movie is just based on the first book. And again, no negativity in the comments, because we do not need negativity in the world, okay? We do not need it, really. No, we don't. And if this is the first time you're watching my videos, please hit that big red subscribe button down there by my picture if it's still like that, for more book reviews, hauls, unbagging, unboxing, unbagging, because some things come in a bubble wrap manila envelope or a plastic baggy wrap thing, vlogmas, random vlogs, and random videos that I have no idea what to categorize. Again, I hope you like this video, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye, everyone.